If you guys got any questions for us, send us in on our Twitters. He's at PainUser. I'm at CatsPajamasSE2. And let's get things started. All right, so here at the 2 o'clock position on dual sites, we have Liquid Sheth spawning as our blue Zerg player, looking unstoppable at the moment as he has taken 3 Fnatic scouts. His opponent here at the 8 o'clock position is Fnatic KawaiiRice. We were talking a little bit about him before. A guy who's a very, very solid player, very technical player, very fast and good at multitasking, but hasn't posted a lot of high-profile wins lately. And as you were mentioning before, would be pretty good for him to take this game.
Yeah, he gets pretty frustrated at tournaments from time to time. I know he had a devastating series against DeMuslim at the last MLG, where he ended up losing an extended series. I think he had 4 games in a row to DeMuslim.
Oh, no.
And DeMuslim moved on, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the way the cards fall, and there's a lot of players like that. You know, we talk about these players that they're always up there. They're always around the top of tournaments, but they just don't post, you know, those top 3 results that everybody covets so much.
Right, exactly. But certainly a player who could do it. He's young,
absolutely.
He's got the mechanics behind him to get at it, and there we go. So
people like him are the reason that I, don't want to pursue a professional gaming career, because
you look back and see the youngins.
The younger generation, it's mind-boggling. If I had been playing StarCraft 2 when I was, 14, 15, I'm envious of all the kids out there, young people, young men that are
there's
able.
a lot of 17-year-olds and things that are making waves and taking huge tournaments.
Yeah.
So
I mean, imagine if we had that when we were in high school and middle school.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, life would have been a whole different.
I voluntarily played Wolf ET 12 hours a day. Didn't give me any money, but I just played it.
I know, and
that was all I had. So
the era of esports is certainly in the now, and it is exploding right now. And StarCraft 2 is that game.
Yep, and we do have Tech Lab coming down for KawaiiRice right away, so it looks like some sort of a Reaper opening, and then probably follow this up with Hellions in a bit. Those lines could totally throw me for a loop, though. Supply depot finishing off that wall, so this poor drone not going to be able to get home. It will die eventually, but it is going to spot the Reaper coming up right away. And back on Sheth's side of things, he did actually drop down 15 hatch and went right into gas and pool after that. Pool before gas, though, so it's not going to be fast speed links. It's going to be wait a little bit on that and get up a couple of queens first.
Indeed. And I like the delayed gas style here from Sheth. He's getting his gas much earlier than usual, though, on this map. So perhaps we need earlier speed on this map to control the Reaper maybe, or an early push, something like that. I don't think he has to worry about anything like that coming from KawaiiRice. He's going to follow this up with a second Reaper.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. He's actually investing quite a bit in this. 2 Reapers.
200 resources right away. More importantly, that's 100 early game gas that's taken out of tech. So.
And early game gas is a really, really big deal. You have to map out Terran builds. Oh my God, I did not know you could hop up right there.
Good to know.
Just jumped over the... Wow.
Note to self, 2 Reapers have fallen. He's gotten himself 50 resources back.
Get out!
But, get down.
Get out. So he jumped over right here, I believe. He hopped up right in there.
Well, yeah, it looks like maybe onto... I'm actually taking a look there. This sort of area? I'm not actually sure.
He went right up in there.
Cute. All right.
Yeah, I didn't
know you could even... Naga Tower.
Didn't even know you could do that.
He's got a second Reaper, though, so he's going to be able to use the healthy Reaper to spot things on the high ground, so the Reaper on the low ground will be able to take out lings a little bit more efficiently, or could just bypass that and go right into the natural, which looks like he's doing, avoiding that lava vent also well.
Yeah, the queens are really going to shut things down here, and that's why I don't really like the dual Reaper opening that much, because a smart player like Sheth probably not going to sacrifice his lings exactly.
Right.
I'm just going to keep his lings away from these Reapers and use the queens to do all the damage here. So KawaiiRice really getting nothing out of the second Reaper except a little bit of added extra map control.
And he has already gone to a second command center, building a factory, and already has 3 racks in place. So we do have the infrastructure for a very, very quick switch over to very, very heavy marine tank builds. But as he already does have 2 reactors in place in this tech lab, whenever the Stimpack finishes, he'll either be able to swap that with a factory and start going right into siege tank production, or he can go right into combat shield after that and delay tanks for a second. But he's actually putting a reactor up on his factory, and we're going to see a tech switch here in a second. So
By the
he's
way,
going-
for everyone in chat making fun of our caster room, we have made some serious home improvement. As you can see, we have this beautiful IPL logo right here. We're also wearing
That's kinda
headphones, and we can hear the game sound, which
good,
is
man.
a luxury I'm liking more and more.
And we actually have some pretty high-end equipment that's coming in soon, so
I know we do.
look forward to that. Probably be implemented after IPL 3, but we'll find out. Overlord does get a full scout, but is taken out by a bunch of Marines, and the Zerglings are coming back to knock down the Orbital Command. There's not enough units here quite yet. KawaiiRice will have to pick that up, get his Marines on the low ground, expose them a little bit, admittedly, in case there was some sort of a Baneling follow-up. He would have suffered a lot of damages, but as we know, Sheth is going over to that third base over the 12 o'clock, but Zergling's coming in, trying to make a run of it. He's got to get that supply depot up. He does, just in the nick of time.
Man, Sheth doing a really good job right now denying that natural expansion for KawaiiRice. KawaiiRice really wants and needs to be taking that. He's unable to produce SCVs for such a long time out of that natural expansion that's just absolutely killing him right now. He has to find a way to get out there and take out these Lings, and I think he has enough now. So he's going to be able to take back his natural. He really needs to establish, get a few bunkers up, get his infrastructure fully set. Sheth right now taking a third, so he's going to be on 3 bases.
Yeah, certainly.
And
And
good job.
yeah, that third base, because of how long he delayed that natural, actually came down before the Orbital Command started taking mining, as we see the first SCVs being Maynarded over right now. And
Maynarded. I'm always like, Maynard.
He's Maynarded.
Maynarded. What is the past tense of Maynard?
Maynarded.
Maynarded?
Maynarded.
All right, okay, I'll take it.
Here comes Sheth, though, and he's going to try and take out as many units as he can, but the supply depot goes right back up, and that means that all these units just walk into a little choke point.
Oh, dear.
And KawaiiRice actually with a pretty good game there.
Yeah. Sheth did, however, swing in the back while we weren't looking and take out a few SCVs. I'm not sure how many he got.
It looks like 3 workers killed altogether.
Okay,
Don't know if any were killed before, but here comes round number 2. And this round a little bit better, holding position on those units. They can take out a couple of extra workers. I don't know if this mule has actually even mined a patch yet, so gets those extra couple of hundred resources as well. Total workers killed now up to 5. So just getting a couple each time and trying to keep KawaiiRice on his toes.
Yeah, KawaiiRice doing a great job holding right here, but he's losing additional workers. More Lings flooding in. KawaiiRice just getting picked apart here by purely Speedling, which is not something you see every day, and I think a lot of it boiled down to that opener from KawaiiRice, the Double Reaper. Sheth really exploiting this with just heavy Speedling follow-up. No bunker at the natural for KawaiiRice. If he was able to get up an early bunker and get those 2 Reapers inside, that could have made a world of difference. Reapers and bunkers are just absolutely phenomenal.
Big drop going on over at the top right-hand corner, though, and Sheth forced to rally all of his units back, but it looks like he's going to be able to hold onto that hatchery, and but forcing all his
huge
units to a
fungal
choke.
growth goes off.
At first, he was doing a lot of damage to
my
Lings,
God.
but the fungal growth cleans everything else up.
Did he save a lot of those drones, or did he lose a lot of those drones? If he lost all the drones at the natural, we could be in an even situation. Okay.
23 workers killed so far, so Sheth was paying attention to the bottom left-hand corner, exacting damage on his own, and he has denied that orbital command for a while, but that drop, while not taking out the hatchery at the top right-hand corner, did quite a bit of damage.
Getting that hatchery would have been huge for
Really would have
KawaiiRice.
been, yeah.
But as it stands, I think KawaiiRice might be a little bit in the lead here. What's our worker count at exactly?
And it is 37 now, 38 to 32. But of course, with the
4
mules
down
yeah,
at the moment. I think KawaiiRice is actually ahead after all this. Strangely enough, I mean, he's been taking a ton of damage throughout the game, but that drop really equalized things for him in a serious way. He would have been so far behind if he hadn't landed that drop and taken out 23 drones.
Exactly, and the fungal growths did end up helping Sheth quite a bit and save that hatchery, so maybe he'll be able to work that back up to a good portion of his health. But Overlord in the middle of the map does actually spot this medevac coming across, so Sheth should be pretty well prepared for this. He's already moving back one spine crawler, but not shifting any units quite yet.
Nope, none just yet. Dual drops going off, one in the main, one at the third. Beautiful moves here from KawaiiRice, going to drop right in that mineral line. And, oh, does he block it off? No, the Lings are able to stream through. just missed that sweet spot that you're looking for right in the middle of the mineral lines by 1 pixel. And both these drops will get cleaned up without doing any damage, and one of the medevacs does go down in the main. So Sheth doing a great job right there.
Actually,
2 full medevacs worth of units.
No workers killed in addition.
0.
I think just a couple of links and 1 infestor fell through that, so certainly not enough to equalize. Whenever I'm getting units across the map, I always seem to pick off a Scantipede as well. No idea why. Those creatures! Sheth's going to test the waters with a few links once again.
Having some tasteless issues, bro. It's like, ooh, what's this animal? Zoom, retract, zoom, retract. Automaton? Is it biological or mechanical?
Another Overlord goes down, so KawaiiRice trying to be as annoying as possible with these drops. And Sheth only running in 12 links is not going to be enough to pick off 7 Marines with stim, so he's just going to run those back into the main, directly into a choke point, actually. So KawaiiRice managing to pick off a couple of units. Now, Sheth did manage to get 1 tank that was sitting here in the mineral line of the natural for a little while, but he is still up in supply altogether, which is a good place for him to be at this stage in the game. And he has his 3rd command center done. If he can PF that towards the Zerg, then he'll be in a pretty good spot.
Yep, I don't think he will. Sort of towards the Zerg. He's headed,
kind of,
I guess,
down at
laterally.
The 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
There's no real forward exposed bases or golds or anything like that. So.
I'm very curious to see Sheth's next expansion choice, whether he wants to go on the right-hand side or take the top left-hand gold. Sheth will get another siege tank here and some additional Marines. And once again, going with that Ling Infestor into Ultralisk style here. Will maybe into Ultralisk, I would guess into Ultralisk. I doubt he's going to just randomly switch into
Spire right away. Yeah, exactly.
He may, though. You know, I don't even think that would necessarily be that bad of a tech switch, especially if the Terran thinks you're committed to the Ling Infestor Ultra style.
But right now, I think he is going to get a lot out of Ultras because he's already set up pretty well for them. It's going to take the 200 seconds plus a bunch of time for those to come down. But unfortunately, the drop gets cleared up here for KawaiiRice, trying to do a little bit more harassment. Nothing coming over here at the 3rd. But Sheth is on top of these drops pretty well, playing a very defensive style. And another drop making its way across the middle of the map. But Sheth already saying, nope, you will not pass. He's already well prepared for them.
Yeah, these drops really doing nothing for KawaiiRice. He's lost so much supply worth of Marines. He's also lost a few medevacs. Here we go again. Sheth trying to get some economic damage done here in the mineral line. KawaiiRice pulled some of his SCVs off the line. Didn't really have any units in position there, oddly enough. And Sheth, once again, will clean up an additional drop without losing hardly anything.
And dropped 1 queen, but nothing else died for him. I don't think any additional workers. No, actually, still at those 23 workers killed that we saw before. So, Medevac gets away with 5 points of health, and then it doesn't move anymore. KawaiiRice had just assumed that it was going to die anyway. Looks like a few infestors. The Brofester hit squad making its way down to the right-hand side. Actually has pretty good link support, and yet another Scantipede. They are all over this map.
I love how you keep getting the wayward Scantipedes. Beautiful fungals right there from Sheth, just denying any kind of support KawaiiRice may have had for the mineral line.
Yep, and I was running up here because it looked like Sheth was worried about a few units, but no other additional damage has been done to the 12 o'clock, so have to be worried that KawaiiRice is going to be basically everywhere at once. And here we go. Those burrowed infestors are going to make their way in. Let's see if this becomes infested Terrans or if he pops up and ends up producing... Well, produces nothing because he was in range. There's the scan. Those infestors are all going to die.
The dying infested Terran.
Go kill everything.
Throws it up as he's fading into the earth.
And Sheth does have his Ultralisk coming up, Kindness Plating on the way, along with level 2 weapons and +3 armor. So that is the cheaper tech route for him to go through because he doesn't want to invest in Spire and Greater Spire at the moment. But he's got to watch out because he's only just now got his 4th base of gold up and going, and looks like KawaiiRice is poised to do the same. Here comes Sheth. He's got a few units coming down. Looks like he is going to be fine with attacking into this. Gotta have to drop down a couple of fungal growths. Doesn't get too many units right there. Gets a couple of fungal growths down on some SUVs, but KawaiiRice did a pretty good job of mitigating the damage there.
Yeah, he certainly did. He is, however, falling further and further behind in supply, but I think Kawhi's in a relatively good position here. If he can establish his 4th at the gold, get that PF up, and then if he can start to take control over mid. He hasn't had control over mid this entire game. He needs to get his tanks out there in mid, because as is, Sheth has the positioning to harass any one of KawaiiRice's expansions as he sees fit, and it looks like he might head into the natural to do just that, because KawaiiRice is spread so thin right now. He has forces all over the place, and here we go. Sheth's coming into the natural with some ultras.
No bio here to help with these siege tanks, just a couple of Marines inside of the bunker. That means the ultras are basically going to be able to run through unchecked, but still doesn't look like Sheth wants to engage right into that with the bio units reinforcing from the side. He was able to get in and take down quite a few tanks. Unfortunately, these infestors are going to fall as well. Putting up a couple of infested Terrans again, just because. But Sheth's starting to take the rest of the map, has now cut it in half, taking his 5th and 6th.
Yeah, he's more than cut it in half. He's encroaching onto KawaiiRice's territory, taking that new 6th on KawaiiRice's side of the map. Now, KawaiiRice did hold right there. He's doing a good job holding right now. He needs to not take economic damage right now. He has to hold off these attacks without losing much. And it looks like that's just what he intends to do here. Sheth with some more infestors over there on the right-hand side. But I think this attack will get cleaned up as well. So KawaiiRice going to hold on here. He needs to start dropping, however, and taking out these expansions of Sheth, because if he doesn't somehow try to contain or control Sheth's expansion here, he might find himself in a little bit of trouble. And Sheth once again hitting the natural.
Yeah, and Sheth has a very real possibility of starving KawaiiRice out of the game as well, especially on those 6 bases. And if none of those go down, he'll be able to commit all of his drones up to the front, while KawaiiRice just wears away at these bases sitting down the 6 o'clock position. And it's not going to put him in a good place, as all these bases are starting to drop in minerals. I think the Ultralisk is actually deciding to continue to attack. They are going to manage to get a siege tank or so, but not all the damage he wanted done for those. Maybe so, though. Maybe just wanted the distraction. Sheth running in with a bunch of links and ultras on top of that, and he is going to make a go at this planetary fortress, which already has 45 kills.
Wow. Yeah, that PF has been the focal point for a lot of action this game, but it will meet a timely death. And KawaiiRice now switching over to Banshees. You know, obviously Sheth doesn't really have much in the way of anti-air. He does have those infestors with fungal and infested Terrans, but KawaiiRice just in tatters right now.
Yeah.
His base has been all but annihilated. He's floating his natural. He does have that gold PF over at the 4th, but Sheth doesn't even want to deal with that right now. He's just picking off tanks.
Have to.
And the GG is called. Sheth, looking like an absolute monster right now, breezes his way through KawaiiRice.